This is why you died.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Is Why You Died, the only horror show in the world that contains all 5 food groups: vegetable, animal, mineral, alcohol, and brains. I, as always, am Sir Ian Dangerous, aka your Uncle Frank, and joining me, as always, are the digestive treat himself, Dan March of Madness, and all the fiber you'll ever need, Ryan Ross live. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
That was a great end.
Here we go.
Fibrous,
yes.
I am apparently.
Very fibrous. Yes.
Good for the
You help
guts.
everything. You help everything move through people's bodies. That's right. Through their bodies. We are the show that picks prompts at random from our 666 words and phrases in our buckets of the beast. And then we are inspired to pick a horror movie based on those prompts. And then we return here to discuss that movie with all of our dedicated listeners, which is each and every one of you. So thank you for joining the show today. We have a great movie for you today. But before we get into that, we do have to do some business because that's the way the world works. Dan March of Madness, tell them where they can find our links, please.
Oh, they can go to beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. You can go there and look, you can get this awesome hoodie that I am wearing right now. We have
merch.
A store.
It's
You can
great.
find all of our links to listen to us. You can find us. You can watch us on YouTube. Hello, if you're watching us right now.
Might I say, great stocking stuffers.
Oh,
well
do we have any new
played.
items? Any new
Hanukkah.
items?
I don't know if there's gift
Actually,
giving in Hanukkah.
it occurs to me, Ryan, before we get into that, this show will actually be coming out a couple of days after the holidays. New Year's presents, maybe?
True.
Will be what this is, this is going to be. Well,
Oops.
if you forgot someone for the holidays, then, you can always make it up to them.
It's for all your coworkers and friends that you see after the family. When you're coming back in the new year,
There
this
you
is
go.
for them. This is the ones that are like, I still need that gift, you know?
That's the pitch. That's the pitch right there. I love it. Well,
fast on my
also,
feet.
the other thing you can do is, you can hook them up with our Patreon, which is something that everyone should do. Ryan, what can they get from our Patreon? Where should they go? What's going on with that?
So our Patreon, as with all of our other socials, is our TIWID pod handle, but we have a ton of cool perks on there. There's different membership tiers, and each different tier gives you exclusive perks that are exclusive to that tier, and then you also get all the tiers prior, so you're never missing out on any of the perks. But some of the cool perks, you get extended editions of the podcast, the before and after of us chatting and just kind of shooting the shit, get to know us a little bit better, and also hear some of our
behind the scenes
stuff. That's one of the big ones. You get merch discounts. There's also our particular highest tier is our dedicated benefactors, where you get an exclusive shout out in every single episode of the show. So as always, we got to shout out our dedicated benefactor, CG. Thank you so much for your support.
Our first benefactor. Thank you, CG, as always.
But yes, a ton of perks. Check it out. And it obviously all of the proceeds help feed back into the show so that we can make it bigger, we can make it better. We've got some goals in terms of what we can hit and some milestones that we want to reach. So we thank you guys all for your support there. It means the world.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to talking about all of that on our bonus episode, which should be out by the time this show actually drops. So if you are a patron, you can check out our bonus episode for December, a holiday episode featuring Santa's Sleigh, an awesome horror movie featuring Santa killing people all over the place.
Oh my.
And if you're a patron and you are hearing this right now, if you're not a patron and you're hearing this right now and you're curious about it, just so you know, we're going to be picking some lucky patrons to play Dead by Daylight. I can't even speak today. I'm so excited about this. They're going to be playing Dead by Daylight with us later this month. We're going to be having a live stream of Dead by Daylight for our January bonus episode. So if you want to kill us, there's your chance. Right there.
Also some fun news on the Dead by Daylight front specifically. I know Dan is a big Halloween fan. Halloween's been in the game for 9 years, and they are pulling it from the game mid-January this year.
Oh,
No.
I know why.
Precisely. There's a Halloween game coming out, and so the licensing is being pulled from the game. So anyone who currently owns the Halloween chapter of the game, and Michael Myers, and I think it's Laurie Strode, right? Who's the heroine from Halloween?
Oh no.
And they also have Lampkin Lane as a map. Anyone who has purchased it prior to that date gets to keep it moving forward. It will still exist. But all of the perks and stuff will become general, and then you will no longer be able to obtain Michael Myers or Laurie Strode beyond the 19th of January, 2026.
Well, I know what I'm doing after we finish recording this show tonight. So I gotta play
it before
I gotta
it's
be
gone.
prepped. I can't go in there without my Michael Myers. But
it's true. Honestly, he's one of the best stealth killers in the game. Personally, I think he's.
Don't see that. There you go. Now that's even more motivation. But
it's true.
That being said, we do have a great movie to talk about today. We can't get into it just yet because when this show drops, I think most of the holidays will be done. But that's great because it means the next episode that comes out the week after the show, we'll be able to talk about everything that we did. But I want to know our plans. Let's set it up so that the next episode we can say how well these plans went off. But guys, let's go around the circle here. What are we doing for the holidays? What's happening? Dan, what are you doing for the holidays this year?
Oh, I'm staying local.
He's low key.
It's nice. Like I don't like having to drive very far on Christmas time just because I don't want to be on the roads. I'd rather just be around family and food and just hanging out. So that's probably the plan, is just hanging out with the in-laws and brothers and sisters, and also watching the kids play and putting on great Christmas movies.
Do the kids still believe? Wait. Do the kids still believe in Santa Claus?
Satan Claus. Of course, yeah. They're only 7 and 5, so they've got some time. Yeah,
prime time.
Got time. Yeah, and I'm currently doing the Elf on the Shelf. So that tradition's a lot of fun.
Mischievous?
Yes. Yeah. So that's every night I gotta remember. I gotta make this guy. So, but
it's all fun and games fun. Until he shows up in a pool of blood and the Michael Myers doll is standing over him.
Could do it.
Just saying.
Got my kids. Yeah.
Get the kids into it early. That's all I'm saying. Ryan Ross live. I'm assuming that you were heading somewhere snowy.
It is. That's true. I always head back to that. I gotta be careful because last year when I described my Christmas plans, I made my mom cry because I offended her with the way that I described our time with my family.
Was last year.
That's right.
So
the first time that we made your mom cry.
Whenever we go back to Denver and spend time with my family, we do all sorts of cool stuff. It's a very packed schedule, and I'm not joking, guys. Last year, my mom, when we came back for the next time we visited Denver, my mom's like, since we normally don't do anything, I have scheduled fun activities for us.
But didn't you get to go play with wolves?
Yes, we did, which was super cool.
That was cool.
That's cool. And really what it is my family tends to be a little bit more relaxed. And so the time that we spend at my house is usually watching movies and eating meals together and just kind of a little bit more laid back. Whereas Sasha has such a large family that we are bouncing around from member to member a lot more. So that's going to be our holiday this year. Is we're going to go and spend time with family and bounce around, try and see some friends from my hometown. We're planning to play some Magic because Sasha and I both gotten into Magic the Gathering in the last year or so. And so just kind of a good time to visit family, friends, celebrate the holidays, and actually get some snow and weather before we come back to sunny California again for the new year.
The only thing I have to ask you is, before you go out to the wilderness of Colorado, have you told someone where you're going?
Yes. Well, to be fair, it is the Denver metro area more than the wilderness.
Oh, okay.
Of Colorado.
The wilderness of Denver, Colorado.
The suburban area of Highlands Ranch is very wild and untamed.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
You never know. If you're a regular listener of the show, you know that Ryan loves to yell at people when they go in the wilderness and don't tell anybody that they're going.
It's such a simple way to keep yourself safe and alive.
Well, Ryan, I'm going to tell you right now, for the holidays, I'm going to the wilds. I'm going to the middle of nowhere, and I'm telling you,
tell people where you're going.
Where are you going?
So I'm going where I normally go, which is up to Truckee, which is not exactly the middle of nowhere, but it is a few scant miles from where the Donner Party ate each other. So yeah, my holidays always consist of going to where cannibals got snowed in and feasted upon each other. And it's fun because I actually have been snowed in there during the holidays.
But you didn't eat anyone for legal reasons, right?
No, I did not eat anybody, but I'm not going to lie. I was sizing up my family and figuring out which one was going to go first. So
your poor family.
Mom put on a couple pounds this year. Maybe she's the one that. But anyway, no.
Ian's mom who cries. Next year, Dan, you're up.
She does peep in sometimes, but that being said, no, it should be a happy holidays, and I'll only get a little bit of the Shining music in this year. Thank you, Dan, for throwing that on my Christmas last year with with the snow falling in the middle of nowhere.
Perfect. It looked like a scene from the movie. That was scary.
It was scary. And speaking of scary, we're here to talk about scary movies. So now that we've got the Christmas portion of the show out of the way and the holiday portion out of the way, let's talk about scary movies on the complete opposite side of the globe where there is no snow, because my prompt for this week was Indonesia. Indonesia. Can you guys point to Indonesia on a map?
We were talking about this. It's generally east of India, isn't it?
It's east of India. It's south of Jakarta, the main city of Indonesia, is directly south from the southern tip of Vietnam.
Okay.
Right? And that giant archipelago down there, it's west of Papua New Guinea, but it's a little bit south. Mm-hmm. But all of that's Indonesia down there. That whole giant mess of islands down there is Indonesia. And they actually have a pretty rockin' horror movie industry going down there. They don't produce a ton of horror movies, but the ones that they produce are pretty damn solid. And so that was a really cool prompt to get. And it did take a little bit of brainstorming. Dan, I think, thought of one right off the bat. Satan's Slaves. Yeah, Joko Anwar. Yeah, Joko Anwar is probably the most famous horror director to come out of Indonesia at this point. So it's kind of easy to just cherry pick his name. I have to admit, I did very close. I came very close to picking Peter Jackson's Brain Dead or Dead Alive because of the Sumatran rat monkey in that movie. They go to Sumatra at the beginning of the movie, and that's what causes all the problems. But I was like, well, I got Indonesia. Like, there's so many other things I can use that movie for. Mm-hmm. Indonesia, let me actually pay respect to Indonesia. That movie's a little less respectful. A little bit less respectful. So let's actually respect Indonesia and pick like a prime Indonesian horror movie that feels like Indonesia. And so I went with another movie from Joko Anwar, which was Impetigore. Which I hate the name of this movie.
It is a very strange name.
Yeah.
So Impetigore is a bacterial child skin disease, and then gore is gore. So it kind of makes sense in a very weird way, but it's also kind of a terrible name, especially when the original name is, and I wrote this down because it's impossible for me to remember it, Perempuan Tanah Jahanam, which means woman of the cursed land.
Okay, so name it cooler. That's so much better.
So much more badass.
That's cooler.
Why would they change it to Impetigore, which makes no sense unless you like really break it down?
I don't know.
And then you have to think about it so much. That's great.
Awkward Impetigore. I mean, I guess it's kind of memorable,
more brutal than it is.
Right.
Like, it's a pretty it has some brutal in the movie, but like the name implies that we're going to be watching like a grindhouse film.
Totally.
It's definitely not
that.
Yeah. Right. Which brings us to the moment where we have to kind of say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the show. If you haven't watched the movie, well, going forward, it's time for the spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. All spoilers, including character deaths and plot twists, are now authorized. You have been warned.
Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. That's right. We're spoiling everything from here on out. So if you haven't seen 2019's Impetigore from Indonesia, we're going forward. We're spoiling the crap out of it. We're going to talk about each and everything, including perhaps endings. I mean, you heard what she said. So, all right.
Endings, deaths, it's all allowed now.
It's all fair game now with Joko Anwar's Impetigore, which you can watch on Shudder right now. I mean, it was a Shudder. It was licensed by Shudder over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did a good job picking that up, I think. But all right, so boys, let's talk about how we found this movie. I've seen the movie before. I watched it for my other podcast, or Horror Palooza, a couple of years ago. Dan, had you seen Impetigore before? You said you might have.
No, I did. I had seen it before because I absolutely love Satan's Slaves. And so when I heard that this was it's a follow-up, right? It came out after that?
It did,
I
yes.
think. Yeah, so when I heard this was his follow-up, I was like, I have to watch this as soon as it's available. And I think because Shudder picked it up, I subscribed to Shudder, so that's when I watched it, like as soon as I could.
Are they related in plot, or are they fully separate?
Fully separate.
Okay.
Fully separate. It's just the same director.
Okay, yeah. When you said
no,
follow-up,
it's
I
just
was like,
oh
is this
yeah,
the sequel?
sorry, no. Follow-up meaning like it's the next movie after
enough.
Yeah.
Satan's Slaves.
The main
Satan's Slaves blew me away that I was like, okay, I gotta see what he does next.
The director and the main actress are the same. That's it.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, he likes working with her, which you can see why. I mean, she's great, the main actress in this. But that being said, yeah, no, this was a follow-up to that. Ryan, this is kind of a silly question.
Yeah, I was going to say, we know the answer here.
We know you have not seen this movie before. Indonesia. Have you ever seen a movie from Indonesia?
I don't think so. It's possible. I've seen a variety of foreign films just kind of along the way. I was a media major. We watched a lot of different stuff. I had some very, very passionate like lit professors and like cinema professors who would bring in some odd films here and there. I don't know if I can point to any that I can say for certain are from Indonesia. So this might be the first one.
Wow. Well, and I have to ask because you are very surprising, and sometimes you're like, oh yeah, you know, I majored in Indonesian cinema in college, you know, and we never like what
it was.
So
I had a minor.
Right, exactly. I've been in Indonesia 5 times, but I never watched horror movies from there, you know. But all right, so you were complete novice coming into this as well. If you're still listening and you haven't seen the movie, a quick summary. It's about a woman who works in a toll booth in Jakarta. She gets attacked by some weird guy at night before he gets shot by the cops. What's that?
With a machete. A weird guy with a machete.
With a gulak, I think is what it's called, right?
Is that what it is?
Gulak.
It looks like a big curved scimitar.
It did look like a
Golok. Yeah. It's like an Indonesian version of a machete. Yeah, he comes at her with a weapon. And but he calls her by a different name and says, No, you're so and so from this village. And after he attacks her, she starts wondering about her past and realizes that she didn't know who her parents were. She may have come from this little rural village in the middle of nowhere, and there's a giant house there that she may be inheriting. So thinking about her coin purse, she decides to head off to this village with her best friend to try to pick up her inheritance. But what she finds is not only a whole bunch of folk horror and hillbillies trying to kill her, but the fact that her family may be involved in a curse that's on this village, which makes all of their babies come out without any skin on them. So
the cursed land.
A cursed land, if you will.
Like
and she is
the name of the movie should have been.
Yes.
In the cursed land. Yeah. God, it's gonna bother you guys now as much as it bothered me.
And all the listeners too.
God damn it. All right, so here she goes out to this village in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of tropes there that I just described that sound very like horror movie-ish, right? Like it's the little village in the middle of nowhere. It's a bunch of like kind of backwoods people.
It's isolated.
Man, the backwoods. Woo! The backwoods in Indonesia is a whole different thing. How did you guys take so we've seen backwoods in America. How did you guys feel about the backwoods in Indonesia and how that was represented? What did you think about that?
I mean, I don't have a lot of like knowledge about the backwoods of Indonesia specifically, but like just looking at the thick, dense jungle and kind of to your point of like, there's like European forest, which has been mostly explored and a lot of settlements and everything's very tightly packed. And so there's not a lot of like continuous greenery or separation from society. It's a lot harder to get lost. There's not as much like major fauna to be concerned of. Whereas like backwards of of North America, you could just vanish into the woods, never to be seen again. Or South America. It seems like Indonesia definitely has that same kind of landscape and breadth of nature, if you will. The fact that they're taking this cart on essentially like not even a dirt road, it's more just like a trodden path through the forest for who knows how long, and then arrive at this little village of huts and people. Definitely gives the isolated vibe.
And it's crazy because no electricity, no running water, as you said, like the middle of nowhere, like thick bush, thick jungle out there. That's some gnarly stuff. Dan, was that intimidating to you? Like, were you freaked out by how deep they were in that jungle?
Yeah, that, and also just like her house that she was supposedly inheriting, like just being in there. Like the part that freaked me out the most was when her friend was going to take a bath and it was like in vines. I was like, it just how there was just so much naturalness growing in and they're just like kind of living in it. It just felt like this is kind of like a tiny step up from just camping outside in the wilderness, like where you're at. Like you kind of just have this sort of cover, but it's one of those places where if you aren't paying attention to where you're going, it seems like you can get lost like that. Like everything looks so like thick and like the same everywhere that, I was like, it's crazy that there is, you could tell that the people that live there have this, like, of course they're going to have some sort of like underlying secret going on because it just had that freaky vibe to it being so far from the rest of civilization.
Yeah, classic folk horror stuff, right? The little villages that far away from civilization or that out of the realm of civilization are going to have some sort of weird secrets and their own traditions and whatnot. And there's going to be that conflict between that and society. But here's the crazy thing, guys. Java is the most populated, most densely populated island in the world. Jakarta is the most populated city in the world. It is insane how many people are on that island. For example, we all live in Los Angeles. Do you guys know how many people are in the greater Los Angeles area? We're talking like not beyond like Anaheim, Long Beach, LA, like beyond that, like include everything in the high desert, the greater LA area, Riverside, Inland Empire. How many people live here?
I don't know the number, but I know that dot is larger than the population of like over 2/3 of the United States. Is that dot?
I want to say 5 million.
18.3 million people.
Oh my God, that's so far off.
Live in the 34,000 square miles that constitute the greater LA area. Huge area, by the way. 34,000 square miles. 545 people in each square mile. 545. So above that, New York, in 16,000 square miles, has 23 million people. Tokyo is even bigger. Only a third. It's a third of New York's metropolitan area. 5,200 square miles. And there are 41 million people.
Oh my God.
And then, topping off the entire world, just above Tokyo, is Jakarta. 42 million people. Just a little bit bigger than Tokyo. But whereas Tokyo is 5,200 square miles, Jakarta is 2,800 square miles of metropolitan area. That's gnarly.
Wow.
So, yeah, you can kind of get the idea. There's 26. Let's see. There's 2,600 people per square mile in Jakarta, as opposed to the 545 per square mile.
How is
here
her
in Los
toll booth
Angeles.
so empty for most of that? Where were all the cars?
But that's the thing. It's so populous in West Java. They went all the way to East Java, and that's where they went to actually film the movie too. They actually went to the less populated east side of Java, where there still are a lot of rural towns, and they filmed it in a rural village. They filmed this movie in an actual rural village, and they built a bunch of stuff. The first bathrooms that ever existed in that village were built by this movie production.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
when they came there. Yeah, they built the big mansion that she lives in. They built that and left it there, and now it's a library for that village.
Oh, that's sick.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. But on the downside, it's the jungle. The director, Joko Anwar, got dengue fever and was fucking in the hospital for 9 days while this movie was being filmed.
Wow.
And he almost died.
That'll put a
Jeez.
pause on your production.
That's true.
So
Wow.
it was a hell of a production. But all of that aside, you're in the middle of one of the most populated places on the planet, and yet it looks like this. It's so isolated and it's so scary, and people just are living, so in such a non-modern way. And then you throw this city girl and her friend into this, and they're still doing a lot of like very old traditional stuff, like the puppet dances and stuff. So here's the question, guys. Did this scare you? Did this movie freak you out?
I think that
And in what way?
I think that there was definitely tension. I think that the one of the tenser, like obviously there's some of the more brutal stuff in terms of like the skinning and stuff that's really uncomfortable. But specifically the scene where the men come to speak to the friend Dimmy or Deanie or whatever her name is.
Yes.
That, first off, so many red flags that she just breezes right by. Like, oh no, he's leaving today. Oh no, he's not at his house. He's at a different place. You should come with us. We can show you where this place is. Like the goalpost keeps moving, and she's just like, okay.
But the sad thing is, you can see her processing all of it and seeing the red flags and going, but how much do I want to help my friend?
Right. I know.
Wait
and then
for your
the fact
friend.
that she took on the name, like to say that that was her, like I was like, oh, you just, oh, that was
And you
terrible.
see them react when they say, oh, you're her? You're the girl that used to live in this house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a very doom setting moment.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not going well for her.
No.
And she followed them for so long. Like, at what point do you just go, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea? And she's like, I'm going to head back. But she does it so late. They're out in the bush. They're on some random path that she has no bearings for. It's like, turn around.
Yeah. And she's not good at running in the forest, apparently, because I think she gets, 25 feet before she sprains her ankle, and then, whoop.
It's more than a sprain. It's bulging out of her leg.
That's the least of her problems.
I think going back to if it's scared, it definitely had. This director's very good at creating moods and a sense of dread that, like, even if there's not like a jump scare or something that occurs, there's just this overwhelming sense of this like creepiness that this movie has, like. From like during the daytime and especially at the nighttime settings and stuff, just like when she went out to go check the sound outside that she saw, like going out the gate by herself, it just was like, it was very freaky, very like creepiness factor that it creates.
I feel like this movie did two things really well that kind of lent to that, and it was lighting and music. The lighting and the music in this film are phenomenal throughout, and I think that the music is particularly effective of the two, but there are a lot of really cool shots done where they do have a lit room, but they frame it with a dark doorway, or they do other cool kind of lighting stuff that adds to that effect and makes it feel just that much darker. But yeah, the music, they do a really good job of just underlaying scenes to add that edge and just bring that little tension that isn't there without the music.
Yeah, I agree, man. The music was fantastic, and the lighting is just delicious in this movie. There's so many times where they're throwing these perfect shadows, and they work really well with darkness. There's a couple of times where it feels a little bit forced, but then but there's also some moments where it's just the most gorgeous bit of lighting, throwing like colors and shapes into places, and things flash by, and there's people in the background, and they do a really good job with that. But on top of all of that mood, there's a story to be told here, and really something that when I first watched this for my other show, it was something that I had a nitpick on, and that was the third act of this movie. I feel like this movie
was going to be the case.
I mean, come on, you're also a story nitpicker, Ryan.
That's
so
true.
I'm going to throw this to you second, because I actually am curious about if Dan feels this way as well. But I feel like this movie sets up so much. It has an absolutely just phenomenal cold open with that toll booth scene. It then goes into like a very slow burn build going to the village, and it throws so many things that you just get under your skin. It's like, there's something wrong here. And it keeps unveiling these facts and these moments that are just skin crawling. And then there's the third act, and we just get all kinds of exposition dumps and awkward moments and some strange character decisions. Dan, what did you feel about how this movie handled its story from beginning to end?
I mean, I definitely feel that. Like, I could feel that they were kind of they had to wrap things up to get to where it was at. So, yeah, I agree. I think that the ending is a bit weaker after like setting up such a strong cold open that sets up a mystery and then giving you these little tidbits in between. And I love hearing like the stories, you know, like the past stories that are being told to her,
the flashbacks,
flashbacks, like where her past is unraveling, is really great. And then you get towards the end, and you get moments where she's just like screaming out the storylines. They're like, "I'm actually like you're my dad. I'm your daughter. You use this skin." It's like, okay, you're just spouting all of it again. You know, it's like, you know, I definitely feel that. And like, I'm not sure of those decisions when filmmakers do that. Like, it's almost like they lose faith in their story of like, I gotta, like, if they didn't get it, this is my last opportunity to really drive home what happened. So let me sum it up somewhere. Maybe on the page it works, but it's like, you know, on screen, it just feels like, well, yeah, I know that if I'm a smart enough viewer, I understand what you just said.
I was paying attention.
Yeah,
if I was paying attention at all.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
At home, yeah, and I'm like, oh, good, she summed it up. Great, thanks.
Right, if you're not paying attention. Ryan, what are you thinking over there? How was this movie for you?
I knew that you were going to say that it was an exposition dump when I was watching it. I was like, this is going to come up. But the thing is, I actually disagree with you guys. I really like this. I don't think it's perfect. But I do think that because to Dan's point in terms of like her spouting the stuff at Sakti or whatever his name is,
Sapti,
Sakopti. His
Saptati. Ki Saptati. And Ki Doangso.
I can't pronounce it. I'm trying. I'll look up the name.
It's Ki Saptati.
Ki Saptati.
I have to look at this again.
Ki Saptati.
This is what happens. Like white boys in Indonesian. We apologize profusely. This is not. We're not trained in this. We apologize.
Anyway, I do think I'm going to counter Dan's point of Saptati. Okay, when I can see it, the word, I'm good. Saptati. He doesn't know any of the stuff that we know as viewers, so she does have to communicate that to him. And
he's been jinxed to forget.
Correct. So like, although it is exposition dumpy to us who have seen it now, she had to learn it, and now he does too. I'm going to defend that one, but I do think that I disagree with the fact that like I think that he forgetting is just extraneous. He doesn't need to forget for this all to happen. And I feel like that does it kind of drag it in a way. Like I wish that he had just either been in on it or not. But like having forgot and be hexed felt like a very extraneous detail. The thing is, though, I loved the vision sequence. The vision sequence was so cool. The plot twist of it actually being the mom and the son that are the current town elders kind of manipulating the situation and framing her family that isn't actually her dad. Like that was all a cool twist that came out of fairly nowhere. You don't really have any hints to that, and it felt really cool. It felt like a good twist. I felt like it deepened the story. It complicated things, and the way that they represent the visions and the spirits communicating to her, I thought was sick. It felt, and I've said it before, it felt very D&D to me. It felt very okay, we pieced these things together and now the spirits are communicating to her like this curse to be broken. Like that was cool. I don't think
they couldn't have like, she gets to the village and the little girls are like, "Hi, can you help us? You have our skin.
Well,
we need to put the skin in the hole.
They keep
Like right when she got there. They're right there.
They've been trying to, but she keeps getting distracted by shit, and they're in the house. Well, I will say though, to your point in terms of like forced lighting and stuff, like the fact that she slept with like 10 oil lanterns that just suddenly she has 10 of them, and she leaves the whole house lit.
Ton of oil lanterns up in there,
but very silly. But honestly, I really liked the vision sequence, and I feel like the vision sequence is where most of the exposition came in, and then we have the sequence where it's her being hung. And although I do agree that feels a little ham-fisted, you have to tell the guy. The guy doesn't know.
Yeah.
How else is he going to know other than you tell him? And she is trying to save her. She's trying to save her skin, literally.
Pardon the pun. Yeah.
And so, like, you would shout all that stuff in your defense. You'd be like, actually, please.
I got nothing to hide. You're my dad.
I know this.
Your
Help me out.
mom. You banged my fake dad's wife, and then you're my dad, and made my grandma made my dad forget, and then she cast a spell on my dad, and it's so convoluted. But that's the thing, dude. You even said it like, they don't set it up before at all. Like we know Saptati and his mom are up to something. The second we see that mom, by the way, Christine Hakim, legendary Indonesian actress.
Okay.
She's won tons of awards in that country. She's won, I think, nine Citra awards which are their Oscars. Yeah, she's been like since the 70s. So she's like, I'm trying to even think of like a good example, but she's like their Meryl Streep, But like, so she's been around forever, and this is her first horror movie, which is a hell of a way to get into horror.
That's cool.
Is as the creepy old mom with the club foot and the weird eye.
Yep.
Yeah. She's
great. She's literally like the stereotypical witch. She's the hag.
It's hagsploitation in Indonesia. But she won another one. She won a Citra award for this movie for Best Supporting Actress.
Wow.
Believe it or not, for that part. But yeah, she's the second you see her, you're like, oh, you done something. You're up to something. Right? But what? And the fact that they don't more elegantly kind of like give you the story, give you clues as the story goes on, give you hints, give her hints, anything, something. You have so many opportunities to have something come out, or her to see something or sense something or whatever. And they're just scenes that don't matter. When she comes to his performance and he's doing the puppet show, right? And she just asks his henchmen, where's my friend? They're like, we don't know. Come back later. And that's the whole scene. You could have done something there. There's all these scenes where I feel like they left holes in this, and then they have to make up for it by just info dumping on you at the end. And the first time I saw this movie, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So much info was coming at you so quickly. I was like, wait, who did what to who?
Yeah.
And who banged who? And who's that guy? Wait, what? Okay, so he's with what? How's he her dad? Oh, because that. And it was just so much me trying to process all this information. And the second time, I kind of knew going in, and I was like, I'm able to enjoy it a lot more. But it's still so much information.
Well, I would argue that is not necessarily an issue with the third act as much as it is with the pacing throughout the movie. I think the vision sequence is brilliant. And I do think that like there's some stuff in the end that like kind of falters. I think that in general, just a lot of the stuff with the mom kind of is just left. And like I don't think the ending's very strong. The like ending feels very extraneous to just kind of throw.
Which ending?
You mean like
because there's two.
The mom coming back as like the additional ghost curse thing.
See, now that's I'm gonna take issue with that, because I don't like the Texas Chainsaw ending where she's, she walks away from they let her go. The mom and the son both cut their own throats. Arbitrarily, because we feel so bad. He makes his mom cut his throat, and then she's all mad. She cuts her own throat, and they die. And then her friend randomly shows up and is like, there's another baby of the 10 babies that have been born in the last 48 hours. And this one's miraculously
they're having a lot of
okay.
babies around the same time.
They had a lot of babies in a short period of time in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially for a town that's known for having like skinned babies. You'd think that you'd like be a little bit more careful.
Dude, Right. Like, well, I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of contraception in small villages in Indonesia, but at the same
how many
time,
people are there? Because they're spitting out a lot of babies.
and they're within a 48-hour period. Another woman has gone into labor.
Yeah.
What?
Well, also
Jesus
they
Christ.
have like almost like this like prophetic like there'll be another one going into labor tonight.
Like, yeah, it's always a random guy in the back being like, "There's another woman going into labor right now."
Yeah.
You have a plot point that needs to be resolved. Well, we have a baby coming right now. Don't worry. And don't worry, the woman will spit it out in the perfect amount of like 35 minutes to be right on time to save her. But then she walks away from this whole scene. They're like, "Oh, okay, you ended the curse. Thank you. We can let you go." And so she walks away. And the next scene we see her, and she's through the trees, running, like screaming, and then she jumps into the back of a truck. Is like, "Go, go!" The guy doesn't even recognize who she is. She just like, "Just go, go!" And it's like Texas Chainsaw, but there's no Leatherface chasing her. There's no like Sunrise. It's an homage to that just falls flat.
Yeah.
But then, Ryan, you take issue with the scene after that where the curse continues and the mom is now eating miscarriages in the village, which is sick.
I do. I got fixed by camera, but yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, then, Dan, you take over while Ryan's fixing his camera. What did you think about the ending where the mom's ghost is now that we have another baby curse and now she's actually tearing babies out of women and eating them?
Yeah, that was I feel like I could be wrong, but I thought that Satan's Slaves had some sort of interesting extended other ending, so I was waiting for it. I think it was one of those things where it's like, you know, when you watch like a M. Night Shyamalan movie, you're like, okay, there's probably going to be some sort of twist somewhere in this movie to freak me out. So it's like, that's what I was expecting. I was like, as it kept going, I was like, there's going to be something interesting. There's going to be more at the end. So when it happened, I liked it. I just thought it was I thought it was a really cool way to like, you know, move, like kind of extend this story, make it creepier. It was very traumatic endings, like this, like what's going on? The husband screaming. It's like it was crazy way to end it. So I liked it. It's
mad disturbing. It's mad disturbing in both conception and execution. It's super disturbing. It's gross. And I agree. It's the Friday the 13th. It's the Carrie. It's the last little whoop to the audience before you go, and it leaves you that open-ended kind of like unsettled feeling as you leave the horror movie. To me, that's essential. But wait, Ryan, what issue did you would rather have it end with the Texas Chainsaw ending to this movie?
It just felt extraneous. It felt like it was so separate. Like, yeah, they do the whole like one curse turns into another kind of like tease for it or whatever. But the thing is, like, it felt so separate from everything that's happened so far, and also just kind of so arbitrary of like, now we're gonna have this so that it's still kind of scary and it's not resolved. The end. It just felt very forced. And like I said, I don't think that the actor is perfect. I think a lot of Rati's decisions in terms of like, you have this whole thing where she helps her the whole time, then she reveals that she accidentally got her husband killed, and there's this moment where like it almost seems like she's going to turn into another force and another obstacle, and then nah, she's fine, we're good, nothing's changed.
But I like that because she represents how curses get broken, right? She's the one that says, I'm not your enemy because I don't believe that I don't believe that curses end with violence. You can't end a curse with violence, right? It just keeps the cycle going.
I agree.
You have to end a curse with...
But then don't have the false jump scare. Don't have the thing where she like squares up with her and then it goes like, actually, you're fine. Let's go.
But doesn't she have to face that? Like, she's got to face wanting to do it and then making the decision not to. So that's
her big character moment.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It just feels very like framed in like a, like, we have to have this, like, we have to have this shot and then we can move on.
Oh wait, that's the shot you take objective to, but like there's so many shots in that like last sequence where they're just these arbitrary jumpy shots, or the one where her friend is like walking from the back in the blanket and it's all creepy, but it's not creepy, it's her friend, and the music's doing all the work. I do
agree with that.
There's so much of that in this movie.
There's some silliness.
There's some silliness, and it's not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. It's not always a great thing. Not always a bad thing. So before we get to Mike Logan, and I think we're going to have a universal vote on the Mike Logan fuck that guy award for this movie. I think there's really no one else to go for. But I have to ask really quickly in this movie is, is this movie? I've heard it called folk horror, which is, you know, the city versus the country and the juxtaposition of the two and the contrast and the conflict between the city and the country and et cetera, and folk tales. Is it that? Or is this movie about generational trauma, ancestral horror, fear of your parents, fear of your ancestors, fear of what could that could mean for you? What do you think is the bigger horror message from this movie?
I say generational trauma. That's what I definitely lean towards, because you have the elders hiding secrets, trying to keep ideas of the family safe. Don't let the secrets out of the family. And then, when you try to change and adjust, and combat against that, sometimes you can break apart the family. Also, like how the curses were passing down, that's how generational trauma can pass down too, if you're not breaking it, if you're not discussing it, if you're not talking about it. Like, these just like issues keep traumatizing your family. You keep doing these same things. And so I think that that's what is being said here and being taken here, but like elevated to like a horror level. But I think that that's what it's I think that's a big theme of this whole movie, is that.
At the risk of sounding contrarian, I think the other way on this one. Because the thing is, I think that personally for me, it's tough to say that's generational trauma when for her, she doesn't have any generational ties. All she has is this mystery that she's trying to solve. And yes, she's unearthing like trauma that was left behind, not to her action and by the people before her, but that trauma wasn't necessarily like embedded in her in the way that generational trauma is normally talked about. Normally generational trauma is behavioral stuff, like the habits of your parents, the way that they treat you, the way that you see the world because of the way that you interacted with your relatives, with your family, whatever it may be. And she's been essentially alone her whole life, other than with this aunt who's never on screen and only kind of mentioned, and supposedly is fine. We don't have any issue with the aunt. And we don't ever hear anything poor about it. Really, the only generational craziness that's going on is A, this history that she's unearthing, and B, the Saptati and his mom. And although that's very messy and traumatic, it's
to put it mildly,
it's rooted in this village, and it's not really necessarily as influential on the main character in terms of the trauma. It's influential in terms of the consequences. And so I feel like this does fit more of that folk horror vibe of like, she's unearthing this thing in this little town that she has ties to, but no kind of knowledge of. That feels a lot more on the folk horror side to me, of like, you're unearthing an unknown from the past. That feels very folk horror to me, at least in my opinion.
No, I agree completely. And actually, it's kind of funny because I think this movie can be read either way. I think you're both kind of right. I mean, this movie can be either, and it's pretty much how you want to read it. Joko Anwar, when he was writing this movie, said that this came from a lot of the folk tales that he heard when he was a kid, because there is such an immense amount of history in Indonesia and in Java particularly. It's such a place where so much history has happened to that place. It's been invaded and colonized so many times, and it's still so pluralistic in terms of the people that live there, the religions that are practiced. I mean, you've had Buddhism and Hinduism there for over 2,000 years. You've had Islam there for over 1,000 years, and you've had Christianity trying to force its way in for the last 700 or 800 years, plus all the other religions that exist there. It's absolutely insane. So I think that there's something to be said there for the folk horror aspect of it, and the folk tales, and that kind of that feeling of ancient history bubbling up to the surface. But Joko Anwar also said that the relationship between Saptati and his mom he based that on his relationship with his mom and how controlling she was. Which, I don't know. If I had made this movie, I would never let my mom know that.
Wow.
Well, was his mom still alive at the time that was released?
I do not know. And God, for her sake, I hope not. Because goddamn.
Let's go find out.
That's cold. That's one. You think your mom cried at this show, Ryan Ross joke. Live, and sorry again, Mrs. Ross, but that's a way to make your mom cry, is to have her be the absolute villain that is like skinning people for you and controlling every aspect of your life to the point where you want to slit your throat to escape her. Good God Almighty. Well, that's the question, boys. That mom in this movie, that Joko Anwar said is based on his mom. Is she the Mike Logan? Is it fuck that mom in Impetigore?
I think.
Is there
know.
anyone else?
Yeah, I don't see anybody else. I mean, she's the one that's like controlling, keeping the secret, pushing everything ahead, right? Like,
She's
yeah,
the only
it's all
one
her.
that does evil shit that is not told to do it, right? The henchmen
Right.
all are told to do it. They believe that this is going to help their village. They're doing the right
Yeah.
thing. She's the only one that's acting it selfishly.
That's
So,
true.
I don't know. Ryan is still trying to find out if Joko Anwar's
When
mom is
she-
alive.
when-
He's one of the only Wikipedia pages I've ever seen that doesn't mention who he was born to. Both of his parents are completely absent
Oh,
from his
no.
Wikipedia page.
Oh no.
So-
that doesn't
that
say
says something, doesn't it?
that says
Whoa.
something. It's a good thing we're doing this near the holidays and not near Mother's Day, because that would be terrible. All right, boys, it's the name of the show. This is Why You Died. I
Oof.
think we've only got one or two good options in this movie, but
there are so many moments though that just fit. Like even for some of the people who survived, there were moments that I'm like, this would be a great one.
this is why
would
you
be a
should have
great one.
died.
Yes.
This is why you should have died, man. You're like, hey, let's open it up. This is why you died, or this is why you should have died. Let's do it all the way. I'll start. It was my movie, so I'll start with this is why you died. I mean, pretty much it's hard for me to not go for Saptati or his mom with their just like, you know, slitting the throats randomly, but it's just so arbitrary. I can't go for those because they didn't do anything to make themselves slit their throats. Joko is just like, I'm done with these characters. You're out. I'm gonna have to.
Ooh,
I'm gonna take the easy one.
That, but
Well, then good. You take it. 'Cause I'm gonna go with Deanie.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Deanie, and just, I mean, it's the most simple thing you can ever do. It's horror 101. And the reason why that scene works so well is because you're screaming at her the entire time. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Turn back. You've gone too far. You're in the woods with them. Oh my God. Don't trip over a fucking log. Like that's the thing. This is why you died. You didn't wear your Nikes in the forest. You were wearing your flats. You know, you slipped on a leaf. I don't know what it was.
Sponsored by Nike, we promise.
You tripped on a tropical bug. I don't know. The volcanic soil was too mushy.
Man.
Whatever it was. This is why you died. You went into the forest with two scary guys who were creepy from day one. You're in the middle of nowhere in the village. You're the voice of common sense in the movie up until this point. She was the one screaming, let's get out of here the entire time
She
before
really
that.
was.
All of a sudden she's like, I'll go into the forest with you. Sure. What the hell?
Yeah.
This is why you died, Deanie. All of the dumb reasons. Every single one that's ever existed in a horror movie ever. God damn it.
That just felt so tragic too, because like part of me was just when she said that, when she took the friend's name, she's like, that's me. Part of me was thinking like she's taking it because she wants to protect her friend so badly that she's like, I can handle this more than she can, so let me figure it out. And just when she said like, I'm her, and then their faces changed, I was like, you're gone,
she's dead.
Like this
You're
is
dead.
it.
Instant
You're
death.
dead. This is why you died. You said you were the wrong person. Bad way to go.
Man.
At least the mom was nice enough to slit her throat quick, and they shouldn't have to sit there and get skinned. Ay. Boys, who wants to take it? Who wants to go first and take the This Is Why You Died challenge for Impetigore?
Dan, I'll let you go first because I'll do one of each. I'll do the This Is Why You Died and the This Is Why You Should Have Died.
This is why you should have died.
I'll take the
wanna
one that
snipe
we were
you.
talking about is I forget their names, but what's his name and his mom. You said that like you felt like they were just done with the characters, but like I gosh, man, I was just thinking like that felt like such a strong scene, and it could be, now that I know it's about his own mom, I think it takes on such a big thing, but it's like to imagine like being a parent being forced by your own child to kill them,
To slit their throat.
You're slitting your child's throat, and there's nothing you can do to stop it because they want it, and then to be filled with so much immediate grief that you're like, I'm not, like, there's no reason for me to be in this world anymore, that you just like are out too. Like, that was devastating. That that hit me hard. I didn't think that it was just like oh, let's get rid of it. I was like, this is so tragic and so devastating.
Can I pile onto that real quick and say, like, that scene is even more weird and tragic that she kills herself after, like, her son forcing her to kill him? It's even more weird when you think back to the flashback scene where she's feeling up her son's ass.
Yep.
Like, while he's naked in bed, and is like, yeah, I'm gonna save you, boy. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And like takes his hair. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Joko, what are your mom issues, man?
Yep.
Yeah,
Bro.
he's working something out here.
Oh.
And he needs a therapist.
He needs all the therapists in Indonesia. Ryan Ross live. Tell us why they died.
I'll start with the traditional. This is why you died. So the dad, is Dono Wongso the dad?
Dono Wongso, yeah, Ki Dono Wongso.
You know, you're in a fairly, like, what I imagine is not a very profitable, not a very, like, well-off village. You get super rich, you marry the hottest woman in town, and then you put on shows for everybody and build this giant house to essentially flaunt the fact that you're successful and happy all the time. And then the one guy who's the second most powerful guy in town wants your wife. You know, like, maybe tone it down a little.
No, it's not the second most powerful guy. It's the son of his servant. That's the thing.
Right, that's true.
It's his servant's son. So it's one of his servants is porking his wife behind his back and gets her pregnant because he's the one who's shooting blanks. And the reason that he is so popular in the village and the reason why he's got so much power is he's the dalang, which is it's not just that they're doing puppet shows for everybody. This is like deep historical and religious significance. It's a like these shows, like the wayang shows that they do go on for sometimes more than 9 hours. They're like they're doing entire sections of the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata. Like, they're doing massive chunks of these, and you've got the gamelans going on behind them playing a whole orchestra, and they know all the words and everything that happens. Like, it's insanely, you have to be like an insane amount of, like, you're not supposed to go to the bathroom or eat during this whole thing.
Wow.
So it's like there's an ascetic aspect to it as well, where you have to be kind of like a monk and like really, it's a massive amount of an undertaking. So the people really respect people who have that position, and they're somewhat of like a spiritual leader as well. So it's not just that he's rich and powerful and has control over the village, it's that he's also kind of their spiritual dude as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have the servant's son usurp his wife and his son, and then, like, you know, basically frame him and take over his job as the walang, as the dalang, doing the wayang in the village, and take over as the village chief and spiritual leader of the village. That's a massive usurpation.
Yep. Well, also, what was the thing where the grandma was saying that Saptati was the son of
right? So she was. So Donna Wongso, let me see if I can get this. Let me see if I get this right. Donna Wongso was not her son, but Saptati was. But they were both by the same dad. Right? But the dad only knew about the one. Right? They'd be half brothers. Right? So the main. This is what I'm saying. And they try to do all this.
A lot.
That's a lot. They try to throw this at you in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, the grandma part's particularly tough because she's like
come on,
threatening her and also doing exposition dumps. But anyway, so this is why you died. The spiritual leader dude, his half brother's coveting his wife. And you know, honestly, if he was just able to get her pregnant, then this all could have been avoided. But anyway, not to shame his blade.
Hard to keep track of your count in the deep forest, man. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, like maybe love your wife to the point that she doesn't want to leave you. Maybe like be good to your wife.
Man, we are getting in so much trouble right now.
But anyway, all that aside, this is why you should have died. So at we're talking about the sleeping scene with all the lanterns. You literally see a foot go. You hear a girl. You go see a foot around the corner. You follow it down the hallway, and then you full on see a face in the window. You see someone outside, and instead of going, "Hey, we should get the fuck out," you go, let me go look through the window that there was just I was half expecting her to open the window and somebody to come like kamikaze through the window, like, or like choke her to death, like tackle her to the ground. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
what
no,
are you doing?
No survival skills in that scene for her. And then she goes outside into the jungle and
she
like
does that,
stares
like,
at
three times.
three ghost children standing in like the entrance of the graveyard. She's like, that's something.
There's at least 3 occasions where she leaves the house to go watch something happening outside that you're like, you should stay inside. Just don't leave.
I'm sorry, and this is outing myself as kind of a city boy, but I'm sorry, if I'm in Indonesia and it's nighttime and I have a torch, do you have any idea how many bugs are coming at you?
Oh, that's true.
You ain't getting me outside of a big old screen. No way. I've got a blanket over me. All right. Well, boys, it's come to that time of the show. It's Scully time. We have to rate Impetigore. How much? And I genuinely have no idea where you guys are going to go with this, because you've gone back and forth in this movie. Like we've gone back and forth. I'm going to start it off again. My movie. I'm going to throw it out there. It's funny. I went into this going 7.5. I came out of it, despite all of its major issues that I have with its third act. I think there's so much here that's strong, and there's like the atmosphere is fantastic. I enjoyed a lot of the horror a lot more the second time without having to sit there and figure out who's who to what and what relationship what. This is an 8 for me. This is an 8 Scullys. I think it's a damn solid movie. It's really creepy. It's really fun. It's not gonna, it's not gonna redefine horror anytime soon. I think it's very tropey, but it's for what it is. It's a solid goddamn 8 Scullys from me. Dan March of Madness. What did you think? Your second time watching Impetigore. What did you think?
I am gonna match you with an 8 as well. I think I think it was a. I liked it more the second time. I think the first time I enjoyed it, but I was a bit let down because I think Satan's Slaves is just such a stronger film in terms of the mood that he creates, the scares that come from it. This has a lot more mood, not as many scares. But there are some very shocking moments. But I'd have to say that it's high up there too, because that cold open is probably one of the most memorable cold opens of any horror movie. It's so well done. The conversation she has, the way that it unfolds, how they like tease the creepy guy, then the creepy guy's there, then it's like, what's going on? Like, then he's parked. It's like all the elements just keep ramping the tension, and it's such a great way to open the movie. It unfortunately, I don't think it ever gets back up to that level that it's set in the opening. But I think overall it's a good, strong, solid horror movie. Good folk horror, good creepy haunted house feel in the opening too. So yeah, solid 8 Scullys for me.
Yeah, right. I love to hear that, and I agree. I don't know if it ever hits what it's doing in the beginning, but I think it's going for something else, going for more of like a slow burn, whereas the beginning definitely, it hooks you right the fuck in when he comes up and then he goes back to his car, then comes, like, he walks out of with the machete or the golok, right? And you're just like, shit's fucked now. And that slow walk, it's so good. Ryan Ross Live. I do have something funny to say about that as soon as Ryan gives his Scully rating, because I don't want to spoil him by saying this, but Ryan Ross Live, what Scully rating do you give to Impetigore, your first ever Indonesian horror?
In the plot twist that no one expected, including me, I'm the highest score of the night.
Highest? Whoa.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. It was almost a 9. I honestly, guys, I can't emphasize how much this whole spirit vision thing sold this movie for me.
That's awesome.
That's
sequence. That sequence was so cool. It was so well done. I loved like the fact that I do think it was unnecessary that they kept cutting back to her on the tree during it. I felt like that felt like really extraneous. And like, to our point, we've been talking about this.
With everyone still looking for her in the background the entire
it's
time.
Basically the same shot 3 times of her like creepy on the tree, and they're like, she's still out here. We gotta keep looking. And it's like meant for tension, but it's just so there's a couple useless shots in the movie for me. I think the whole sequence of her when she's leaving the bathroom after Dinny has gone to the pharmacy. And like she's like looking for her. Like, yeah, it's tense, but it doesn't add anything to the movie. We could have used that time other places. There's definitely some pacing issues. I think that like I said, some of the ending choices of certain characters feel kind of silly to me. I think the fact that I'm gonna have to look at his name again. I want to make sure I know this pronounce
Subtati?
Subtati. The fact that Subtati doesn't remember any of this for the whole movie and is, I guess, just essentially spell brainwashed feels like such an extraneous detail. There's just a lot of things like that I feel like kind of bump it down a little bit. But the music's great, the lighting's great, that whole spirit sequence is so sick, and the fact that they I love the way that they cure it, like they solve the curse, they lift the curse, and you get that really cool shot of the girls dissipating and then their shadows still there and fade out. That was so cool.
I thought you were gonna hate that because it's bad CGI.
Oh no,
really?
The thing is, I don't have issue with bad CGI as long as the CGI, it's more about the intention of the shot for me. Like the swimming, the problem wasn't that it was bad CGI. It was the fact that it was a ridiculous motion that didn't match the tone of the scene.
It wasn't CGI. She was actually held up by a wire. Anyway,
the tone is wrong. The tone of that was dead on. So cool.
All right.
I love that.
Very
shit.
cool. All right.
But anyway,
well,
8.5.
That's great.
8.5. Ryan Ross live coming in hot, loving the Indonesian horror tonight. I love this.
Which is good because I honestly thought I was going to hate this movie. The minute that you said Impetigore was the name, I was like, oh God, I'm in for a horrible experience. I'm not looking forward to this at all. And it was better than I thought. But I still think the ending sucks.
But this is it. Well, the very ending is one of the best parts of the movie. I disagree entirely.
Yeah, I agree with
I think we all can agree that the woman of the cursed land is a way better name for this movie.
Better name.
You would have had a way different reaction if I'd said, well, we're going to watch from Indonesia, Woman of the Cursed Land.
I would have been much more into it from the get-go, yeah.
Very
up my alley.
I know.
Titles are important.
And I'm sorry. But the one thing I do have to say, by the way, really quickly, a plot twist, now that we've given ourselves, we can't go back on it. Plot twist, plot hole, actually. How the fuck does that guy who comes to the city know who she is, where she is, where she works, and what's in her leg? Like the spell that's in her leg. How would any of them know any of that? If the people in the village don't know what she looks like, if they don't know anything about her, they don't know to look for a scar in her leg, no one knows anything, but that guy knows all of that? How?
I agree with the scar on the leg. That seems ridiculous, but I do think if you're looking for a specific set of, what the parents look like. Although to be fair, it is technically not.
No, you don't.
One of the parents.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't know what the parents look like.
The villager knows what the mom looks like and thinks he knows what the dad looks like. Although apparently it looks like a different dad. But still, if they're half brothers, there's features to be shared.
You're stretching.
I'm just saying, so I think it's implied with the fact that he goes through the toll booth so many times. It's the fact that he probably happened.
He keeps checking.
He happened upon it, was like, wow, that chick kind of looks like these people I might know. There's a familiarity there. And so he keeps coming back and it's like, is this a thing? Is this a thing?
A city.
I agree.
42 million people.
Crazier things have happened. It's a small world at the end of the day. There's a whole ride about it.
All right. Ryan defending his 8.5. I don't blame him. I just had to throw that out there before I pick my next prompt because I'm out of a prompt now.
Yes,
it's prompt time. But that being said, what are we sitting right now? Dan, you're about to announce what you're going to make us watch for what now?
Birth.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. He knows he's got me.
Brief pause of what's my prompt again?
And then Ryan, what are you sitting on?
I am sitting on revenge, and I've narrowed it down to a couple options, but I'm still deciding, I think.
Well, we will find out in the new year, what that is, and we will actually watch. So Dan, Birth, very ironically, perhaps will be the first episode of the new year. Will be Birth.
Well, also following this movie, which is wild.
Yeah, right. This movie definitely could have been Birth. All right, I'm digging into my bucket of the beast, my little shiny skull here. I'm going to go deep.
Scullies, if you will.
I'm going down to the amygdala. All right, what is this down here? What have I drawn? I can't see. It is. Oh, interesting. Someone was very literate. Deceit.
Ooh.
Deceit.
Ooh,
Deceit.
I like that one. Deceit.
Yeah. It's kind of like not seat, but seat. And it's not there.
There it is.
Hey. All right, so Deceit. Actually, that's I just got a couple of
that's a
great
juicy
ideas
one.
for that one.
That's
That
one's
fun.
very flexible.
Got it.
That's gonna be fun. I like
That's
that.
a very flexible prompt.
I got some really good ideas. I got some ones I think Ryan's gonna love, actually. So
I was down for that.
I would rather have Ryan end the show being like, "Yay!" than "Wee."
It's always a crapshoot, to be fair. I never know.
That's
like,
true.
Everyone's always like, "Oh, we're gonna watch this," and I'm like, "Okay."
Great. Yeah, like Impetigore. You didn't know what you were in for, and turns out you loved it. Dan, March of Madness, it's your time. What are we watching on the next episode? The very first episode of 2026 for This Is Why You Died. No pressure.
No pressure at all. You know what? I'm to be honest, I totally forgot that it was gonna be my choice.
Oh, no!
So
Are you on the spot?
From the
On
hip?
fly. I'm doing this on the spot.
Oh, no.
And I almost was gonna go, should I just go gory birth? But I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that, I don't think. And I've been wanting to revisit this film. It's a classic.
Yes.
I want to see Rosemary's Baby.
That's my man.
Okay.
Yes, let's come on. Let's go.
Yeah. So we'll be watching Rosemary's Baby.
That's fantastic. That movie has been coming up so many times for me recently too. Like just weirdly socials and like out in the world and just, in my mind. Like thank you, Dan. That's a fantastic one.
I've seen it once before, but it's been a while. It's been many years, so I really want to watch it again.
Only once. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Ryan Ross Live, have you seen Rosemary? No! Excellent.
I have not. Actually, this is going to seem like a potentially random question, but I promise to stay tangential. Is Sophie's Choice a horror movie, or is that not a horror movie?
No.
Okay.
No. It's
the
not
Rosemary's Baby and Sophie's Choice have occupied the same space in my brain for some reason. I've seen neither, for the record.
Sophie's
if that's
Choice,
not clear.
Not a horror movie, but
It's
not
a
a fun movie.
Not
not a fun movie to watch.
I knew it was a heavy drama, but I wasn't sure if it was a horror movie or not.
Rosemary's Baby, also heavy, but definitely, inarguably, indisputably, a horror movie. And I would say one of the best ones ever made, too. And also probably one of the most, these days, one of the most influential.
You're priming. You're priming.
I am.
You're going to skew scores.
I don't care. It's Rosemary's fucking baby.
Board.
If you come in and give this a 4, I will be beyond shocked. There's a reason it's a classic.
It's
anyway,
nice having
fantastic.
Ian on the show.
Dan, March of Madness, great choice. Ryan Ross Live, I look forward to seeing what you pick on our next episode for Revenge when we review Rosemary's Baby. But in the meantime, to all of you guys who are listening tonight, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking us out. Dan, where can they go to find all of our links if they want to interact with the show even more?
Beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. You can get all our links, listen to us, watch us on YouTube, buy us a merch, check us out on Patreon.
Yes, indeed. What Patreon? Tell them about Patreon, Ryan.
We got a bunch of cool perks. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. You can access exclusive content. You can get extended bonus episodes. You can get merch discounts, or you can get shout outs like CG.
CG.
Thank you so much, CG.
Thank you, CG. And thank you to all of our patrons. And we will see you by the time this comes out. Our bonus episode for the holidays for December is out, where we talk about Santa's sleigh.
What a movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what a movie. It's so amazing. But so check out that episode, which is out right now. If you're one of our patrons, and if you're not, you can join right now and you can listen to that episode, plus get all of our extra content like extended shows and bonus episodes. And you can also try to kill us in Dead by Daylight in January. Bring it on. Bring it on. But that being said,
like fools,
so fast.
baby.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna be dead so fast.
Talking
Stuck in a corner.
Style
I don't know what I'm fixing. And
I've
then
been
I get
playing
killed.
FPS shooters since you were in diapers, Ryan Ross Live. You
It's
don't even
not
know.
an FPS shooter, my man.
I've been playing video games since before you were a twinkle in your daddy's eye. Damn it!
Stealth, Metal Gear Solid.
That's right. I was terrible at that game. Okay, but damn. But that being said, everybody, thank you so much for checking out this episode where we talked about Impetigore. It's been amazing. Ryan Ross live, Dan Marchamanis, I am Sir Ian Dangerous. Thank you so much. We will see you next time right here on
This is why you die.